everyone. Happy Sabbath. How's everyone doing? Come on in here. I would like to take a moment and introduce to everyone Ruby Dufresne. We're going to hear her personal testimony today. And a few weeks ago, if you were all here, her husband Daniel gave an absolutely touching testimony. And Ruby, his bride, is here to share hers, so please welcome her.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good morning, church family, and happy Sabbath. I'm really nervous. I don't get up in front of people and do this kind of thing really ever, so bear with me. I have some bullet points here to keep me on track. My testimony is, it's long. I feel like I've had a really long journey, and so to sum it up in 10 minutes feels impossible. And I feel like I would just get up here and say I once was lost and now I'm found. And so I'm just going to share a piece of my testimony. So I grew up in a small town. I was born into a large working class family. I'm the second oldest of 9 children. My family was Catholic, so I grew up a believer. Daniel and I met when I was really young. I was 16. I think I was 3 weeks away from my 17th birthday. And within about 14 months of us meeting, we had grace and were married. So we moved into our adulthood and having a family really quickly. If you heard his testimony, then he shared that his life circumstances and everything had led him to being abusive. So I endured abuse for about a decade, and life was really turbulent, and I really hated God for it, and I kept making the choice to keep myself in that situation and would cry out to God to help me. And when I felt like he didn't rescue me from it, I would curse him and I would say, I hate you, God. And I said it so often out loud, especially when I was in the midst of being hurt. And eventually, a series of events in my life, I'll spare you the details for the sake of brevity, life had really just brought me to my knees, and I was humbled by my circumstances and everything that I had been going through, and how I felt like I really couldn't get myself out of the situation. And so I prayed. It was the first time I just kind of, asked God really truly to help me with a mindset of like, I can't do this on my own, and I don't know what else to do, and I think I really need you, kind of a prayer. And I didn't know it at the time, but he came to me immediately, and he started working in my life, and it was a process. But the first thing that I believe he led me to was the health message. And as a kid, I suffered, I'm very neurodivergent, and I suffered from depression, really deep depression all through my childhood, and I also had really high highs. I was like exceedingly joyful and super depressed, and my pediatrician at one point said maybe she's bipolar. I was never officially diagnosed, but after all of the trauma that I endured as a young adult and everything, it seemed to really develop those symptoms in me, and I was very mentally unstable. And so I believe God led me to the health message to help me through that mental instability. And the the lifestyle choices that I started to choose, they really started to clear my mind up. Eating healthier, it made like a night and day difference in how I felt and the way that I handled situations, the way that I could think. And so this is why I have such a passion for the health message, and I'm super honored to be able to be in the health ministry of the church now. And so when I discovered the health message that the church has through a pastor named Walter Veith, I had just started to kind of explore the Bible and accept the truth of the Bible and Jesus Christ as my Savior. And that's a long story and hard to explain when you come from Catholicism. But anyways, I thought it was really interesting that that health was important to the church and to God, and it made sense as well. And so I really dove deep into healthy living, and I feel like that really, it was like this bridge that God built for me to access Him. It opened up my mind. It made me able to think clearly, to be able to understand truth from the Bible and all that good stuff. So I have a quote here. It's from Testimonies for the Church, Ellen White, of course. It says, "When properly conducted, the health work is an entering wedge, making a way for other truths to reach the heart." And I believe that's what happened. And so that's part of my story, and I hope that it glorifies God. And in time, I'm going to share my whole testimony and probably put it on YouTube. So I will keep you updated on that if anyone is interested. Thank you for listening.